that. Thank you.
Speaker.
Mike Sabin.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I'm delighted to be able to speak to this bill, and as a member of the Social Services Select Committee, I also want to acknowledge the tremendous work, courage and focus shown by the Minister in this bill. The rhetoric of hope. The rhetoric of hope, Mr Speaker. Let's drill down a little bit. Let's drill down a little bit, Mr Speaker, into what these reforms, what this bill is all about. There is not a rising tide of welfare dependence, Mr Speaker. There's something of a tsunami. I've heard from the other side conversations about blame, the small number of people on benefits, the myth of dependence. Let's peel back the layers and see what we're really talking about, Mr Speaker. 351,000 New Zealanders, 13% of the working age population of New Zealand. Small numbers? A myth of dependence? I don't think so, Mr Speaker. We also hear much about the fact that there are no jobs from the other side. There are no jobs for these young people. Well, the Household Labour Force survey, Mr Speaker, produced from Statistics New Zealand found that 62,000 jobs were created over the past 2 years, and the ANZ Bank job report for January showed jobs were on offer in every region of the country, with 30,000 positions available, Mr Speaker. 30,000 positions available. If you look at work and income, they receive 1,300 to 1,500 vacancies a week. On average, they have 3,500 jobs on offer, Mr Speaker. Perhaps we should turn to TradeMe. Some 10,500 jobs available on TradeMe today as I speak. Seek, Mr Speaker, some 15,000 jobs. I notice the other side is a little reluctant to provide the details on that. Yes, the far north does come into conversation, doesn't it? Because far too many young people in the far north have been thrown on the scrap heap, Mr Speaker. I believe our region epitomises everything that welfare dependence has created and will continue to perpetuate. It's a welfare trap. And it's not enough. It's not enough, Mr Speaker, that we simply throw more money at the problem and hope that it will go away. This was a tactic of the previous government, and that is not supporting them into work. And it comes at a cost of some $7 billion a year, Mr Speaker, to the taxpayer, none of which provides the hope and ability for these young people in particular, Mr Speaker, to find their way towards the opportunities and towards their potential. Moreover, there's 220... Do you want me to read out the jobs again? Would the member like me to tally them up? 30,000 positions available. I could go on. But, Mr Speaker, I want to focus on one particular point that this bill is seeking to address, and that is the area of youth, Mr Speaker. This has to be a significant focus for welfare reform, because there is an incredible number of people in the pipeline to a life, and well, certainly a long time, of welfare dependence. What we know is that there's some 14,000 teens in New Zealand, Mr Speaker, that are currently not in employment, education or training. There are another 3,000 16 to 17-year-olds or mothers 16 to 18 years of age who are on a benefit. 90% of this considerable number of people, Mr Speaker, the young people, the future of New Zealand, 90% of them statistically will go on to an adult benefit at the age of 18. And I say we can and must do better. And that's exactly what this bill is aimed at achieving. Mr Speaker, what will the changes for young people do? Well, let's think about the support that they don't have that we're looking to put in place and that this bill will remedy. Youth support providers will work with young people to get them into education and training. That's called mentoring, something many of these young people have lacked. Young people will be required to attend their classes and attend budgeting and parenting courses. Again, skills they lack and support they need. Youth support providers will manage young people's benefits and help pay those essential bills that so often get young people into trouble, their rent, their power, and so on. And a payment card will be provided that will not facilitate the purchase of such things as cigarettes and alcohol. The state is not there to provide assistance in these ways. Mr. Speaker, this bill is the first step and a very necessary step in this nation's need to reform welfare. Mr. Speaker, I commend this bill to the House.
Reno Turakatni.
Well, Mr. Speaker, we've heard a lot of scaremongering from the government